First, I need to start off with a little background on how DC3 does professional development. Uh, Basically, we don't. The college does give us $900 a year that we can put towards professional development, but most of us pretty much do our own thing with that money. And sometimes during in-service, administration will bring someone in to talk to us about a new innovative teaching strategy or something like that for an hour or so, but there's never really any follow-up or documentation of implementation. And so basically, as far as professional development goes, our faculty is pretty disconnected, and we kind of stay in our own little silos and do our own little thing, and that's not necessarily good for students or teachers. When I watched the Developing a Growth Mindset Culture in Organizations video, Carol Dweck made a comment that really resonated with me. She said, employees in a growth mindset culture felt empowered, while employees not in a growth mindset culture basically had one foot out the door. And I'm not saying that everyone at DC3 has one foot out the door by any means, but we're not empowered either. And we kind of need to change the culture of our professional development. And first, we need to break out of the throw a little professional development in during in-service at the beginning of every semester and never talk about it again mentality. That's not a healthy mentality. It's not effective, and it's probably a waste of both time and money. Teachers need to take ownership in their own professional development and make it a meaningful and ongoing process of growth and change. And one way that we could accomplish this is to form teacher-led learning communities. A group that could meet monthly to collaborate, share ideas, engage, read books, whatever. It would depend on the makeup of the teachers. And this would be a way to give teachers some ownership of their own learning and professional development. And it'd also be a good way to build a sense of community among the faculty. Now, because of the way our negotiated agreement is written, this would have to be voluntary. We do not necessarily have time outside of in-service set aside for professional development. However, I think if the college was willing to give us professional development credit for participating, I think people would participate. And also, we're moving towards a portfolio type of evaluation process. And so this would also be something we could put in our self-evaluation portfolio, and that would be an added bonus. Now, I'm going to share the screen here and kind of give you a little bit of an idea of what I am envisioning. And so what I would do is I would have a process, and I would call it CONC collaborators, because I like my alliteration. And the first step for forming our CONC collaborating communities would be to survey faculty and see what types of professional development they'd be interested in, if any. And if there's enough interest, then we could form groups of 6 to 10 teachers who have similar goals, interests, needs. And the reality is we may start with one group of 6 to 10 teachers because that might be all the more interest we have. But hopefully people would see us and it would grow. The groups could meet for 2 hours a month, or they could meet for an hour or so every other week. It would just kind of depend on their schedules to share their ideas. And individual groups would then need to set specific goals and specific outcomes for professional development throughout the year. Some of the things they could do is they could do some book studies. We've done that before. We actually did the Growth Mindset book as a group. Some people might want to learn about online or hybrid learning and maybe effective strategies for teaching that way. We could do teacher-led training sessions. And again, I like my alliteration, so I think having a strategy spotlight would be cool, where a teacher could try a new strategy in their classroom and come back and report on it, or share how it went, or how to go about implementing those strategies. Or we could even focus on specific learning strategies or classroom structure, like student engagement, or we could talk about project-based learning, flipped classrooms, etc. And if we're supposed to get professional development credit for this, then there would need to be some sort of accountability. And so we'd need to take attendance and have reports to the administrators to show that we are doing something with our professional development time. And the benefits of this would be, number one, giving faculty ownership of their learning. Okay, it would engage us and then hopefully eventually engage the students. It would also make the professional development relevant. I've said in services where somebody's talked about something I have no intention of ever implementing. It was a waste of my time. It wasn't meaningful to me because it's something that didn't apply to either the courses I teach or the platform I teach from. And it would also give a support system for teachers and help us build confidence. It's scary to try something new. It's easy to do the same lessons over and over again. It's scary to try something new. And when you try something new, it doesn't always work. And it'd be nice to have a support system there to say, okay, let's look at it, see what went wrong, see how we can make it better. And the last and most important one is it would build relationships and give us a sense of community here. And that's important because it's easy on a college campus to stay in your own little world and not interact with somebody else. It's easy, but it's not effective and it's not healthy. So in order to develop or create a meaningful professional development culture, teachers kind of have to take ownership in their own learning, and we're going to have to work together so we can all get better.